Good morning, children. Today, we are going to learn about something very exciting. We're going to talk about the air, the water, and the weather all around us. It's like being a detective for the science happening outside our window every single day.
Have you ever wondered about this? One day you wake up and it's so sunny and bright, perfect for playing outside. But the very next day, Mommy says, "Take your raincoat, it might rain." So why does this happen? Well, by the end of our lesson today, you will know the secret.
Okay, so first things first. To understand all of this, we need to learn two very important words, weather and climate. And we'll also see how our Earth is always doing a little dance that gives us our days and nights and even our seasons.
Now, what is the difference between weather and climate? It's very simple, Beta. Think of it like this. Weather is what's happening right now, today, in our city. Is it hot? Is it windy? That's the weather. But climate is the bigger picture. It's about what the weather is usually like in a big area over many, many years.
So let's make it even simpler. Weather is the dress you are wearing today. Climate is your whole wardrobe, with all your summer clothes and winter clothes. Weather is for a short time. Climate is for a long, long time. Is that clear? Good.
Look here. Our Earth is always doing two magical dances. First, it spins on its own, like a top. We call this rotation. This spinning is what gives us day and night. But it also does another dance. It travels all the way around the sun. This big journey is called revolution, and this is what gives us our seasons: summer, winter, monsoon, and all the others.
All right, we have understood the big picture. But what is this weather actually made of? Well, a very big part of it is air, the air that is all around us, even though we can't see it. So let's find out more about this invisible mover. So what is this air made of? It's not just nothing. It's actually a mix of many gases. It has lots of nitrogen and, of course, oxygen, which is so important for us to breathe. It also has a little carbon dioxide for the plants, and even tiny drops of water called water vapor and some dust particles. Now, when air gets hot, it starts to move, and this is where it gets very interesting. Have you ever been to the beach on a hot day? You must have felt a nice cool wind coming from the sea. That, my dear children, is called a sea breeze.
But how does this happen? Let's understand. During the day, the sand and the land get hot very quickly, but the water in the sea takes a long time to heat up. So the air above the hot land becomes warm and light, and it goes up. When that happens, the cool, heavy air from the sea rushes in to take its place, and that's the cool sea breeze you feel. But what happens at night? At night, when there is no sun, everything becomes the opposite. At night, we get a land breeze. The wind now blows from the cool land towards the warmer sea. Let's see how. At night, the land cools down very fast, but the seawater stays warm for a longer time. So now, the air above the sea is warmer. It becomes light and it rises up. To fill its place, the cool air from the land moves towards the sea. So remember, sea breeze during the day, land breeze at night.
Very good. Now, from the invisible air, let's talk about something we can see, feel, and drink: water. Water is always on a journey, children, from the earth to the sky and back to the earth again. Let's learn about this amazing water cycle. Look at this picture. It shows the whole journey. First, the sun heats up the water in rivers and seas, and it becomes a gas called water vapor. This is evaporation. Then, this vapor goes high up in the sky where it's cool, and it turns back into tiny water drops. This is condensation. These tiny drops come together to form clouds, and when the clouds become too heavy, the water falls back down as rain. This is called precipitation, and the cycle starts all over again.
Okay, now a question for my clever students. Let's say your mommy gives you hot milk. If she gives it in a wide bowl, it cools down quickly. But if she gives it in a tall, narrow glass, it stays hot for a longer time. Why does this happen? Think about it.
The secret word here is surface area. You see, the wide bowl has a bigger opening on top. More of the milk's surface is touching the air. This means more steam, or more evaporation, can happen at once. And because evaporation makes things cool, the milk in the wide bowl cools down much, much faster.
Now, when water falls from the sky, it's not always rain. Sometimes, in the morning, you see tiny water drops on leaves and grass. That is dew. If it gets very, very cold, this water vapor freezes into a white layer of ice. That is frost. In very cold places, water falls as soft, white snow.
And sometimes balls of ice fall from the sky. We call that hail. We know water is so important, right? But the water that comes to our taps is not always clean enough to drink. So in our last section, let's learn how we can make water clean and why it is so important to save every single drop.
Now imagine you have a glass of muddy water. How do you clean it? First, we do sedimentation. We just let the glass stand still and all the heavy mud will settle at the bottom. Then we do decantation. We gently pour the clean water on top into another glass. But to get it really clean, we do filtration. We pass the water through a filter paper, just like your mummy uses a strainer for tea to catch even the tiniest bits of dirt.
And now for 2 new science words. The dirt that gets left behind on the filter paper is called the residue, and the clean water that passes through and we collect, that is called the filtrate. Residue and filtrate. Very easy to remember.
But wait, is the clean water safe to drink now? Not yet. There can still be tiny germs we can't see. The best way to kill them at home is boiling. We must boil water for 15 to 20 minutes. For very large amounts of water, like for the whole city or in swimming pools, they add a chemical called chlorine. This process is called chlorination, and it also kills all the germs.
Okay, a very, very important question for all of you. If you see a tap in your home or school going drip, 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 why is it so important that we fix it right away? Why should we not waste even a little bit of water? Because every single drop of water is precious. We must not waste it, and we can all help save water. First, use a bucket to have a bath instead of a long shower. Second, always close taps tightly and tell your parents to fix any leaking pipes. And third, we can collect rainwater. This is called rainwater harvesting, and use it to water our plants or clean the house.
And with that, we have finished our lesson for today. We have learned so much about air, water, and weather. Now you have all the knowledge you need to be a little weather scientist yourself.
You have learned so much today, children. I am very proud of you. Now you are completely ready to open your textbook, and I am sure you can answer all the questions in the exercises. So go on now and conquer them. Shabash and good luck.